Hi Chefeteers, I'm Chef Nakia and I want you to be more confident in the kitchen and find some cozy, comforting meals for this fall. So we are past the autumn equinox, we are squarely, decidedly into fall, and depending on where you live, you may have already had some kind of cloudy, rainy, dreary days, and that kind of weather absolutely signifies that comfort food seasons is here, full of its warm and inviting flavors. And if you're anything like me, you may have felt like this entire year so far has been calling for some comfort food relief. The last several months have sadly been filled with challenging events, divisive rhetoric, and seemingly constant threats to the most vulnerable of our friends, neighbors, and community. Times are tough, and it's okay to admit it. While cooking comfort foods isn't gonna fix the truly harrowing challenges in front of us, it can help us strengthen existing connections that we have and help us make new connections. A friend of mine recently reminded me that it's times like these whenever embracing our communities is the most important and the most helpful in, giving support to those who we can. And a lot of times food can be a great conduit to make that happen. Today, I'm gonna share with you some cozy, comforting, delicious meals to take these dreary days and turn them into cozy retreats. Of course, you can enjoy these foods by yourself. Self-care and alone time to revitalize is so important. And I would encourage you to consider sharing these meals also. Maybe with community members who have recently lost SNAP benefits. Maybe you host some friends over and have a delicious meal before heading out to an art fair or a music festival. Or maybe a local city council meeting or something could use some more snacks. However you do choose to cook and share these cozy meals, I hope that it helps you deepen connections and helps you find an outlet to support the causes and the people who you really care deeply about. A lot of the meal ideas that I'm going to be sharing, I've collected on a collections page on my website, so you can find that link in the description box below. Not every single meal that I'm sharing has an accompanying recipe, but the ones that I have written, I have for you. And as I write more, I'll be sure to add them onto that page. So if you go to that page, then you can download the recipes that sound the best to you. And if you love them, like any one or a few specifically, I would love to hear. Please feel free to add in the comments whenever you cook some and your thoughts on them. Also, if you like the look of one, but you want some help finding a good substitution for a certain ingredient or anything like that, comment on the video and I will help you out with that too. I'm gonna start our comfort foods list with soups and salads. I think that soups and salads come together to create delicious, cozy, and pretty simple meals during, for this time of year. Really throughout the whole year, but after summer, I think fall is really a fun time to embrace warm soups again. You can see I have my crock pots out here. I've been doing plenty of crock pot cooking. Soups are typically great recipes to put together in the crock pot. So a couple of my favorite fall soups are a coconut pumpkin soup or a butternut squash soup. And usually whenever I make either of these kinds of soups, I like to add a lot of different garnish options with them. So crumbled bacon or piñons or pine nuts, pomegranate arils. I love some fresh pomegranate, and it doesn't matter if it's coconut pumpkin soup or a butternut squash soup. Always delicious. You can do sliced green onion. I also like adding harissa, especially in the butternut squash soup. I love just spooning a little bit of extra harissa in there. So yummy. You can add toasted pumpkin seeds, dried fruits, and serve it with a nice crusty loaf of bread to really like sop up all the last tiny bits of soup left in your bowl. I love, love, love these like squash based soups this time of year. Now, if you are looking for something maybe a little bit more stew-like, I think turkey chili or, you know, beef chili or white bean chili, pretty much any of the chili families are so yummy. Usually can be pretty hearty. A couple other notable soup mentions in my opinion are French onion soup, curries, split pea soup, and ramen. And I love with ramen how versatile the other ingredients that you add in can be. Like we'll a lot of times do like a poached egg in there, but then you can use up leftover meat from other dishes that you have, or a lot of different vegetables. I still don't think I've ever put a vegetable into my ramen and thought, oh, this wasn't good. If you are going to take a soup to like a community gathering or like a potluck sort of thing, I do think that the squash soups and chilies pack in, you know, like a crock pot style dish really well. And then you can take it, plug it back in, and keep it warm. I will say soups like ramen or the French onion soup with a little bit of a thinner broth, it might get a little bit messier as you're transporting it, whereas those thicker soups or even like stews, there's not as much sloshing when you're on the way. So tip there. And then salads. So for autumn salads, I absolutely love what I have just labeled as an autumn salad. Like I just named the salad autumn salad. It's a fresh bed of lettuce with pears and toasted pecans, and then you also roast some delicious fall veggies like sweet potatoes and Brussels sprouts. You can do turnip in there also, and you put that on top right before you serve it. So you don't want your roasted veggies to necessarily be immediately out of the oven. You can let them cool for a few minutes, but it is a salad that has a little bit of cool and a little bit of warm going on to it. So it's not necessarily one that I would recommend you take somewhere. If you're gonna have people over to the house, maybe cook this one for them and just toss that together right before you serve it and eat it. If you are looking for a delicious fall salad that is maybe all cold, every element of it is cold so that you can easily take it wherever you're wanting to go and feel like you are in community with others who care. I love apple and pear based salads this time of year. You can really use almost any leafy green. You could do like a softer butter lettuce or your like medley of spring mix, or you could also do like a spinach, something that has a little bit of a richer flavor to it. But then I love fresh apple and or pear on top. Love to pair that with like a gorgonzola or any really kind of blue cheese, or a goat cheese if you aren't really a blue cheese person. And then toasted pecans, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, or chickpeas. I love for that extra like crunch on top. And then as far as how you would dress the salad, a lemon poppy seed dressing or any sort of like poppy seed dressing where it's a little bit creamy can go really, really nicely. Also, you can always just toss it in a little bit of olive oil, white wine vinegar with a touch of freshly cracked black pepper and some sea salt. Like that's delicious too. Our next like grouping of cozy comfort foods, I'm calling it, they take a long time, but it is so worth it. And I think that this group of foods especially lends itself really well to inviting people over to have a really nice, nourishing afternoon, evening. It's gonna take a few hours, so you get some like real quality time with the people who you're inviting over. And I've mentioned on here before that I do like dinner parties for people. Like I'll go to people's homes, they invite their friends over, I cook for them, and it's super fun and awesome. I also do that, but more cooking class style. And so these are some of the dishes, like examples of dishes that I've seen work really well in these cooking class style events. I'll bring all the ingredients people need. My clients just invite their friends or neighbors, whoever, over to join, and they get to have a great time connecting while I'm also teaching them that new cooking skill or how to make that dish that they've always wondered, how does it come together, but now they get to see it. If they want to get their hands dirty and help, they can. If they kind of just want to sit in the back with a glass of wine, chit-chatting with other people and taking a look every once in a while, they can do that too. So it works out really well to bring people together, learning something new, experiencing something new, but because it's in the comfort of your own home, it's like the best time. So if you are a DIYer and you want to create that style of an event for yourself, try one of the dishes from this grouping. And absolutely, you can make these by yourself and just have like a nice day in. Maybe you were kind of planning to do something, but it's looking cloudy, or maybe it is raining, or it's extra cold outside, and you're like, maybe I'd just rather stay inside today, but I want to do something and enjoy my time alone inside. These dishes might also be the right fit for you. All right, so number one is a butternut squash ravioli with balsamic mushrooms and a white wine butter sauce. I love making my own pasta, and butternut squash to me is just very October, early November, like autumnal. So I love incorporating that this time of year. You'll like roast your butternut squash and make that filling. And then you can make your fresh pasta dough. And while that's resting in the fridge, you can slice up your mushrooms and start sauteing those with the balsamic vinegar. And then you can go ahead and form all of your ravioli. And this especially is why it's so fun to do with a group of people, because different people can be working on slightly different tasks. And then whenever it's time to make the ravioli, which I find like a lot of people have a lot of fun with that, then everyone can jump in and make the ravioli, and the rest of the dish will come together so fast, because as your ravioli is boiling, you'll just make your white wine butter sauce real quick, and it is so delicious and yummy and comforting and cozy, and just a beautiful meal to share with your friends. The second meal idea is pork and red chili enchiladas, although really do whatever enchiladas you like the best. And what I especially love about enchiladas is whether you're making like 4 at a time or like 16, 20, it's not really that much more work to make the batch of 20. So I think enchiladas can be a great dish to make a lot of and take to somebody's event, because they reheat in the oven really well. If you don't really have a place where you're gonna take a whole bunch of food, you can always make a larger amount, save whatever you don't eat, and go ahead and put that in the freezer, and then you have super easy meals to eat from those enchiladas in the future. Third is sourdough bread, and honestly, pretty much any bread baking recipe is a great one to have around whenever you're not gonna do much else that day, right? It takes a while for your bread dough to ferment. You're gonna fold it, but then you aren't necessarily actively doing much. You're just kind of keeping an eye on it and going over and continuing to keep it moving as it needs to. And then of course, once you go to proof it and bake it. So it's just a decently long process. So it's great for starting some bread dough and then maybe watching a movie or something. Kind of in line with that too are cinnamon rolls. And for this, really any pastry dough, maybe a laminated dough. Again, similar idea of that dough needs some time to rest. It needs some time to ferment. The yeast needs to do what it wants to do. You might need to fold it and let it rest again, all of that. So those are great lazy day at home type projects to work on. And after you bake off all of those loaves of bread or all of those cinnamon rolls, I mean, I don't think any neighbor has ever been no, please don't give me free, delicious homemade bread. I don't think anyone at any meetings going get out of here with those cinnamon rolls, right? They are really lovely. Fresh baked goods are such lovely companions to take with you, or just to reach out to people who maybe you haven't seen in a while and just say, hey, I was thinking of you, right? I think baked goods go a long way with that. My last meal idea that I think fits in this category are tamales, and mostly because whenever I think of making tamales, I just want like a room full of people, everybody, you know, putting the masa in and fillings and folding everything up together, you know, just sitting around chit-chatting, just having a great time. It's, you know, one of those, your hands are moving and your mouths are moving, and before you know it, you're gonna have like 40, 50 tamales made. To me, it's a food that's gonna always bring people together. It's a really great activity to get people involved. That's the fun thing with having several people too, is you could have some pork and some beef and red chili and green chili, and people can like mix it together however they want to. Also, those tamales are gonna take a while steaming and cooking, so that gives everyone who's around a great opportunity to like chit chat even more, or watch a movie together, or a documentary together or something. So I definitely think that like if this idea of like having kind of a party around food, centered around food and community togetherness is making you feel a bit excited, I urge you to maybe put something together even before Friendsgiving and just see what kind of fun experiences you can create. And then to round out my meal ideas, like comfort food meal ideas, these are just notable mentions. I think they're all pretty self-explanatory, so these are gonna go way more quickly, okay? Number one, mac and cheese. I don't think I need to say more. Mac and cheese is just so comforting. Number two, chicken pot pie. And I have been having a lot of fun making chicken pot pies with, yes, pie dough, but anything other than pie dough works too. So if you did make some croissant dough, you could totally layer some croissant dough on top of your chicken pot pie, put that in the oven, let it all bake together. You can do that similarly with biscuit dough, or you could buy like from the store already baked croissants and like toast the croissant and put that on top. Also like cheddar rolls or any sort of like bready, cheesy bready stuff for a really delicious topping. Sometimes chicken pot pie can feel like a little heavy to me, and sometimes for me having like a little bit of a lighter, flakier pastry with it just makes it more fun and like a little bit more appetizing for me. Number three is fish and chips, and I must be honest, I don't really make this for myself. This is kind of a going out comfort food. I love going to places with some delicious fish and chips. Number four is fry bread. I think also very self-explanatory. We're getting into the desserts here. Another dessert is like devil's food cake or like a really rich fudgy brownie. You can never go wrong in my book with those. And lastly are apple dumplings. So this one for me has very strong family ties to me. So I love the apple dumplings, just getting some nice fresh Gala or Fuji apples, wrapping those in some pie dough and putting a cinnamon sugar syrup around those, baking those. You can serve it with vanilla ice cream, although it's so delicious, you really don't need ice cream with it. Like, apple dumplings in the fall just feels like being a kid again to me. And I think that's one of the really beautiful, lovely things about comfort foods, and why I do think they can be such a great piece of the feeling connected. The best comfort foods remind us of our childhoods, our families, our heritage. Sharing these with each other helps us get to know each other better. So maybe organize a community potluck, like a comfort food exchange, where you encourage everybody to bring their favorite comfort food and some food storage containers, and then you can go around and fill up your containers with other people's foods, so everybody gets to take home each other's favorite comfort foods. You get to try some flavors or some dishes that maybe you've never had before, or if you have had them, maybe it's cooked in a different way or using ingredients that you wouldn't have thought of before. Just, more creativity, more fun in the kitchen, right? That's what we're all about. And ta-da, like you have about a week's worth of meals and a fun cultural exchange opportunity at the same time. If the hosting a party, organizing a community event, like getting out there isn't completely up your alley, that's totally okay too. I mean, we all do need time for ourselves, and self-care is super important. Taking the time to create like cozy, lovely, revitalizing like retreats from the crazy world and just enjoying your home and everything is beautiful also. So if you are going to have a nice cozy at-home self-care day, a couple things I would recommend is like grabbing the warmest, fuzziest, softest blanket you have. If you have a pet, convincing them to come snuggle. Maybe you make a nice warm cup of tea and grab a book, or you watch a movie you've been wanting to watch for a long time. Light a candle or put on like a autumn coffee shop ambiance video from YouTube and color, right? Maybe like do a coloring book or some word searches. Maybe you wanna do like a face mask and give yourself a pedicure and listen to a podcast. I would highly recommend Project 1933. It's like a series within a podcast by Moira Donegan and Adrian Daub. Check that one out if you're looking for a new podcast. But you know, in general, relaxing and recharging are so important, and it can revitalize our energy for the causes that we care about the most, and for being able to be supportive for those who need a little extra help right now. So whether you are planning a cozy, comforting retreat of a day for yourself, or creating a community event all about connection and getting to know each other on like a deeper level, I hope you can take some of this meal inspiration to fill in the food piece that can really help all of us connect. The more we share with our communities, the better understood we become, and the better we become at understanding. I hope you can use these or some of your own favorite comfort foods. Help a neighbor heal, help a friend feel more connected, or help a stranger feel cared for. If you have some favorite comfort foods that you want to share, I would love to read over what your favorite comfort foods are. Go ahead and put them in the comments. I'd be super excited to learn what kind of foods bring you a lot of comfort and cozy feelings, hopefully a lot of joy. And I hope that we can find joy in caring for each other. If you would like to access recipes for some of the meal ideas that I shared today, you can go to the link in the description box. If you are in like the South Denver area and you are organizing a community event like a comfort food exchange or anything like that, I would love to know about it. So drop your events in the comments too. Or thank you so much, Chefeteers. I am wishing you all warmth, coziness, and safety.